Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for checking out this video here on Show Style and Spirit. I am Ebony, of course, and as you can see from the title of this video, when it starts off with When, W-H-E-N, then you know I am taking a stroll down memory lane, giving commentary on some older episodes of Love and Marriage Huntsville, which is one of my favorite types of content that I love to create. Now we're going to talk about when Martell first he gave a very untruthful depiction of how the kids were doing at the time in the midst of their separation. And then he's actually just going to admit to struggling financially. And Melody was definitely supportive, and she did not even bask in his struggles. And then we're going to talk about something that Tisha said about her mom. All right. So this is from the episode Got a Problem, but 47 Anchors Ain't One. All right. Now, before we get into these sound bites, I ask that you all please hit the like button on this video. Then YouTube will recommend this video to more people who enjoy discussing the various topics surrounding love and marriage Huntsville. Or even if you're feeling like a negative Nancy and want to hit that dislike button, either one of those stimulated of sorts. So yeah, definitely do that. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you have not already done so, please subscribe to Shows Style and Spirit. I would definitely love to have you. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So in this first soundbite, as you can see, Melody and Martell decided to go to therapy in regards to co-parenting. And the therapist is going to pose a very direct question concerning the children. And you are going to hear two different answers from their parents. So I'm going to go ahead and play the soundbite, and then I will come back with my commentary.
There we go. How are the kids? Are they getting any type of additional support? Is there therapy involved?
They seem to be doing really good. Like right now, I don't feel like our kids need counseling. I wouldn't want a counselor to step in and almost create an issue that's not there.
Yeah. Mel, how do you feel about that?
I feel like Martell has the mentality that most folks that grew up in the Black community have.
And what is that mentality?
You don't need therapists, and usually you go to it when it's too damn late. Mariah, she has become more reserved. Malia, she wrote a song, and it was like, why'd you have to break my heart? I looked at it as there's something there for a 5-year-old to be singing that. And then when it comes to our son, he has some resentment towards his father. His mama hurting and crying hadn't sat well with him, and I want us to fix that.
Yeah. Martell, what did you hear Mel just say?
That there are certain issues with our children that needs to be addressed. Yeah.
Now, just break it down. So what are 2 things that you think we can tackle that easy that's been somewhat tough?
When it comes to the kids, when it's time for you to get them back and it's that day of or that night before, and I'm like, hey, what time are we meeting, or what's the plan? And I get back y'all just keep doing what y'all do. It's like, what? No, like, what you mean? And then I had them for 3-4 weeks.
Yeah. No excuses, but I'm going through a lot. Financially, I'm not doing as good, and then I'm getting my children. Stop, like, don't say yeah, like this is just take it in.
I'm not saying that.
No, you said a lot with that head shake. But anyway, this past year, I've been what we call stuck. Not working as much, and I'm getting my children. Since I had them, I always done so much with them.
Yeah.
And then I get to a point where I can't do as much with them. You follow me? You got your next.
I don't. No, I'm sorry.
Anytime you've been with someone over 14 years, if their struggle doesn't make you feel some kind of way, then you never cared for them to begin with. So I wouldn't dare sit here and say that it hasn't been hard. But at the same time, I do understand the importance of sometimes moving out of God's way and letting God be God.
Yeah, see, so the difference between Melody and I, when she was going through it, her husband was still there. Yeah. She was able to lean on me then, and the difference now is like, ain't nobody got my back. Even though I made my bed, I'm sleeping in it. I understand, I accept it, but I'm sorry. Yeah. Back up, man. Why are you doing that? Why are you saying that?
Okay, so right before Martell says to Melody, back up, Melody, she took her hand and was trying to console him. She was trying to rub his shoulder, and he rejected that and said, back up, Mel. Why are you doing that? Well, Martell, she's not trying to turn you on. She's trying to console you. She was very much being an adult in the situation. And both Martell and Melody became emotional and started to cry when he admitted that he was struggling financially. He's not working as much, and he, has less money. So he cannot do as much with the kids. So it appeared to me, in my opinion, that it depressed him that when he got the kids, when it was his week to get them, he couldn't perhaps take them to an amusement park or to the movies and pay for all those tickets plus get the concessions. That adds up. So those things, because it puts a dent in his pockets, it depressed him that he couldn't do it. Now, Martell, I'm going to say this. Those kids, they love you. You're their dad. They would have just enjoyed you taking them to the park and you running around with them or racing with them. Or, you go to the dollar store, get some coloring books and some crayons and you all sit down and color. And you give them hugs and tell them that you love them. They would have been satisfied with that. Or I'm sure you have a Netflix or Hulu subscription. Pull up one of the cartoon movies and watch it with them at home. And there you go. There's your time with them. I think that he seems to have a very toxic definition of masculinity where he thinks it's all about being able to pull as many women as you can and having a lot of money. So because he's lost his wife and he does not have all of the money, now he's feeling away and feeling insecure to the point where it brought him to tears. Melody showed him compassion and she became emotional because she knew that he was really hurting. Now, I also want to talk about, he did not return the favor when, he took enjoyment allegedly in people leaving negative comments on the Shade Room when she promoted her skincare line, and it made it to the really big blogs such as the Shade Room. And some people left negative comments. It was reported that, he thought that that was funny. And so, when it's time for him to show compassion towards the mother of his kids, he cannot be an adult about the situation. Also, in that soundbite, we heard the therapist ask Melody and Martell, how are the kids doing? And Martell says, oh, I don't think there's nothing wrong with the kids. I don't think there's nothing wrong. And they should not see a therapist because a therapist may make an additional issue when there is none. I ain't never heard nobody take a take like that when it comes to a therapist. I never heard anybody say, and I wouldn't want them to go talk to a therapist because then the therapist might create an issue. Okay. Then Melody says the complete opposite. She said that Mariah had become more reserved. Malia wrote a song, saying, why'd you have to break my heart? And Tank has some resentment towards his dad. Total opposite. And then so the therapist knew that they were on two separate pages. That's why she asked Martell, what did you just hear Melody say? And he said, that the kids got some issues that we probably need to work on. So you already knew, bruh, that your children were hurting over you just totally disrupting everything, okay, about their personal lives. But you tried to cap and said that there was nothing wrong and you did not want them to go to therapy. Now, this is just Ebony's opinion. I feel like whenever a person says that they do not need therapy, or they try to tell someone else that they do not need to go to therapy, I think that is a huge red flag. If it's someone saying about themselves that they do not need therapy, that's giving manipulator, that's getting narcissist, because you are acting as though you are perfect and that your human experience doesn't even include any trauma that may have made you crazy. Okay, so now I know you're crazy and I know you need therapy. The fact that you would even say that. Do I think that some people have been blessed to live very healthy, positive lives, including going back to childhood, that allowed them to be confident, productive members of society and not project any negativity onto others? Yeah, I do know some people who have lived lives that well, but I also know that a lot of humans are walking around with a lot of childhood trauma and a lot of unhealed areas in their hearts. So just to say, for someone to say, oh, I don't need no therapy, to me, that is a huge red sign. And then him saying that the kids don't need any therapy, it reminds me of in the early parts of this current season 7 and season 6, when his own mother, Marlene, would say that he did not need therapy. That was a huge red sign of her being an enabler and her ignoring the issues that live in her sons. Perhaps the ignoring helps her to not blame herself or feel guilty or depressed about it. But you do them no service when you tell them that they do not need therapy. So I thought that was really, really deep. And I hope that Martell has a more positive take on therapy at this point. I'm glad that Melody has had the children in therapy, and I hope that they see it as something positive as well. And so now I want to move on to a scene. This is back when, Tisha really wanted Kimmy to be like a robot, which they have pretty much converted her into one. And she wanted Kimmy to always agree with whatever she says and does, and to never, at least at minimum, publicly disagree with anything that Tisha says and does. And they were having a picnic to celebrate Tisha's graduation. And Tisha says something interesting about her mom. And then I also just want to talk about how it seems so exhausting to try and be a friend of Tisha. So I'm going to go ahead and play the clip and come back with my commentary.
Yes. And then I love my gift. Thank you very much. Been wearing it ever since the picnic planning. I was happy that it came out really good. So it's funny because I was like, oh man, I wish my mama was here. But then it turned out so nice. I was like, oh, because my mama wasn't here.
Facts.
There's no drama. It was all smooth.
Came in there and stirred the pot.
She would not, well, yeah, she would have. So I was like, yeah, no drama, no Wanda. She wasn't here. But me and Kim had a conversation
About what?
how she felt hurt, the things I said about our relationship, and how I felt that, she wasn't there for me. And she was like, T, just name your situation. Tell me when. And I gave her an example. And then she was like, well, when I was being called a homewrecker and had an affair with Maurice while he was married, nobody came to my defense. I was like, you know what? Every relationship, you're gonna have an issue. You're gonna have a problem.
You can't care. You can't care too much about that stuff, man.
Yeah,
I did give Kimmy my expectation of our relationship, and hopefully she's able to abide by that. If not, I mean, it is what it is.
Women friendships are very stressful.
No, they're not.
Yes, it is. There's always one trying to destroy the other one. And
What? What type of relationship you talking about? You talking about frenemies?
I'm talking about women.
Okay.
Does she look at you like a sister? Right? Or is that a statement? That's my sister. If she wants you to be anybody other than Kimmy, in all of these situations, she's going to be let down.
It's funny you say that because I said that sentence at the picnic. I said, but it's certain things that come up where there are aspects where I believe you expect me to change, like because of who you are, I'm supposed to act a little bit different in that particular case or scenario. And her answer was yes, absolutely.
I think that she might need to get to know you a little bit.
Her answer was yes. I'm not changing who I am. Not for tea. Maybe for you. I'm teasing.
No, she ain't. Oh, and I'm hinting around it, but they seem like they came here with a mission.
Who is they?
Your dad, your cousin, Kiki,
What's the mission?
and T-Man.
What's the mission?
It was Operation Check Marcel.
Tell me about the rumor, man. About the baby.
Baby.
So you got a baby on you.
Are you checking me about
Coming from a brother, you know, and that's my sister, man, you know.
Could be uncle.
What they checking you for?
T-Man was apparently upset with me because he was concerned that I might have an outside child.
Oh my God.
I'm like, these guys read too many crazy
That's
magazines.
these freaking social media stuff.
Yeah, but
I don't know why people believe everything they hear on social media. That whole child they believe it would be a big issue if that was true.
I forgive you, an outside child.
Would you?
Yes.
Okay, that's good to know. But I wouldn't do that. So there's no need for you to even think about forgiving me over something like that. That's not in my character. If you had an outside child and I found out about it on social media, I would divorce you and take for everything you have.
Baby, you already have everything I have.
Well, you wouldn't have nothing.
I don't
You
even.
probably even be a
Okay, so this was when, Kimmy used to say, I'm not going to change who I am for Tisha or anyone else. But then I feel like after that reunion, Carlos asked Kimmy, if you were not married to Tisha's brother-in-law, if you all were not related by marriage, would you be Tisha's friend? And she said, probably not. I feel like Tisha and her family really cracked the whip on Kimmy outside of filming. And I think that includes Maurice. I think he told Kimmy that she had to get in line, and that's exactly what she did. So it's like they've been chipping away at Kimmy's identity over the years, and it's been a slow burn, and it has been hard to watch. Now, also, Tisha, it's weird because it's like the way that Marceau gaslights Tisha whenever she tries to speak up for herself or disagree with him. She totally projected that gaslighting energy onto Kimmy. You know how like in sociology, and we learned that a lot of what we do is a learned behavior. It's totally like Tisha learned what was done to her and she did it to Kimmy. And I want to also point out that in the beginning of the scene with Marceau, Tisha's thanking him for her bracelet. She said, oh, the cookout was great. She said, and, I really think it went well because my mom wasn't there. And, Marceau was like, facts. She couldn't stir the pot. And Tisha said, yeah, no Wanda, no drama. So that's probably a little saying that Marceau came up with as well. But she admitted it, that her mom not being there made everything go smooth. It is something when you carry such a negative energy that it can spread out and affect others. And I felt like a very good example of that was the relaunch of Madani. when Wanda was arguing with Melody, and it got to the point where her negative energy, it was not only just on her, but it's like it duplicated and it jumped on multiple people. It jumped on the men to where they got physical, and it was total chaos. But some people are that negative and that draining that they can have that sort of effect on people. You should want to have a positive impact on people. You should want people to feel motivated after they are around you. They should want to go home, and whether they work out or take care of house chores that they have been procrastinating, or even on a deeper level, maybe they type up a business plan or reach out to a friend that they hadn't spoke with in a while, or whatever it is that they've been wanting to do but just hadn't done it. That should be the sort of effect that you have on a person, not to where you're having an argument with one person and the next thing you know, three men are like trying to fight each other. That is not the type of negative influence that a person should have. But literally, that is what Wanda did at that relaunch. And Tisha here is admitting that about her mom. And so it's like, why do you avoid the truth like that at all times? And earlier during this current season 7, she talked about, oh, Melody tells her millimeters to activate. Well, you tell your mom to activate. And when she said, what if I told my mom that? It's not a what if, you do. Okay. So I just found that to be so interesting. I can't remember her saying anything similar since then. I don't know if Wanda yelled at her or if she just did not want to admit it again, but that was definitely something that I wanted to talk about. But what do you all think about the days when Kimmy held on to her opinion and her independent thinking, and that being tarnished, them cracking out the whip on her, and Tisha admitting, no Wanda, no drama. I definitely appreciate you all for checking out this video. I always appreciate the support. Please hit the like button on this video. That is a free way of supporting the channel. And I hope that you all have a great night. Remember, when you're watching your favorite videos, grab your bottled water, drink your water while you're doing so, or grab some fruit, or like, I don't eat meat, so I always buy like pistachios or cashews, eat like your plant-based protein, your nuts, and or if you buy the vegetable trays at the grocery store, snack on that while you watch some of your favorite YouTubers, in addition to like your favorite chips or cookies or whatever, but just have that balance, you know what I'm saying? And I will talk with y'all very soon. Bye.